That, and we've got a great show tonight to start our show. Um, Let me just get myself in order here and see if I can make everything come to order and see if it will work. And so I do want to introduce to you our first performer of the night, which will be Barry Spiro, everybody. So let's hear it for Barry Spiro. All
Yay,
right,
Barry!
Barry. Welcome, Barry. Great to see you.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Thank you very much. I want to do a shout out. I invited 100 people to this show. I took my whole bar mitzvah list. I added a few more people. So I shout out to everybody. I can't say their name.
All right. Well, thank you, Barry. We appreciate that.
So I'm dedicating my performance today to my brother, Dr. Jeffrey Spiro, who I really love. It's all about family. He's suffering badly with a lot of pain, out of control pain, a lot of things, mental and physical, and it's terrible. So I dedicate it to Jeffrey. So I moved to Marlborough Road in Brooklyn. It's with Jeffrey and my sisters and my parents in 1957. I was 7 years old. Jeffrey's 6 years older than me. He was 13. So he had a whole pod. I don't know if they had pods back then, but there were 3 ladies and 2 guys, and they would walk to school, middle school is it called? Junior high school. So on the next road after, if you ever get to Brooklyn, Marlborough Road and Albemarle Road, it's the best block in Brooklyn. But anyway, so Jeffrey, on the next block, Rugby Road, Jeffrey had a friend there, Naomi Axe. She was a pretty famous person. Was very theatrical and educational, and she ran the Electric Company, which was a kiddie show that I never got to. My kids never saw it, but apparently a lot of people knew it. And the star of that was Morgan Freeman. Now, a little hubris, Morgan Freeman was a patient of mine. I did a root canal and a surgical wisdom tooth extraction on Morgan. He'll not forget me. Morgan Freeman was not at the funeral. Naomi Axe went on to marry Dr. Eric Foner, a Columbia University historian. Civil War and the Reconstruction, I think he's the bottom line on that. She divorced him, which, of course, divorce is never a good thing. But in her case, it was good because she went on to marry Mr. Gyllenhaal. And then Naomi Axe had 2 children. One was Jake Gyllenhaal, Grow-Back Mountain, and Maggie Gyllenhaal. They were all at the funeral. But Naomi Axe's greatest aspect was the fact that she was the older sister of my best friend, Robert Axe. Robert Axe and I were best friends age 8 to 16. We did everything together. We got on our bikes, we went down, where's Michael? We went down Ocean Parkway. We went to Coney Island, to Rockaway Beach. We just did everything together. Robert passed much too young, right as I was starting at Sam W, and I wrote a song, a Robert song. I played it for Maura Kennedy's songwriting class, and the whole audience said, God, Barry, that's a very sad song. But Maura said, no, it's not a sad song. It's a song from Barry's heart about his feelings, about his friend Robert. So here's Robert's song. We were chasing the moon on a warm July night, trying to catch a dream that was slipping out of sight. Robert and Jackie were frolicking in the fields, dancing and prancing in a world so unreal. And no one says when they're leaving, no one says goodbye, no one says when it's time to go. So Robert, I'm saying goodbye. During those days, we'd ride our bikes through the streets of Brooklyn and Prospect Heights. Robert had his banjo, I my guitar, and we'd travel the subways to Greenwich Village afar. And no one says when they're leaving, no one says goodbye. No one says when it's time to go. So Robert, I'm saying goodbye. Life was easy, life was real. We'd laugh and play and cajole and we'd squeal. Butterflies were flying, fireflies would light, and we never thought our world would end after we said goodnight. And no one says when they're leaving, no one says goodbye. No one says when it's time to go. So Robert, I'm saying goodbye. So Robert, I'm saying goodbye. So Robert, I'm saying goodbye. Thank you.
All right, that was beautiful.
Nice, Barry.
Great song.
Always love when you play that song, Barry. It's so inspirational and so very special and personal. Thanks.
Yeah, nice
Thank you
song.
very much.
All righty. All right, next up, everybody, is our co